this up here. Nice. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, good. Just making sure we have audio.
It sounds good, Judith.
Good. You are reverberating through the room here. I can really hear here. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate it. So good morning, welcome, happy Wednesday. It's a gentle Kripalu yoga class, 60 minutes. I'm Judith, welcome. As you know, in this class, what we use would be a yoga mat. You want to substitute that if you don't have one, a folded blanket or beach towel, maybe on a carpeted surface would work. Maybe yoga blocks. I have 2 of them here. And if you don't have those, substitute with canned goods of equal size and weight. That would work. And I'll offer options if you don't also have any of these props. And a strap is nice to have. That's easy to substitute with a skinny scarf, a belt, a dog leash, or a bathrobe tie. I have some cushioning here that I homemade cushioning. I rolled up a towel and tied it up with rubber bands as a little bolster. I have a squishy mat here, but you could use some cushions from the bed or the sofa, small ones, not big bed pillows that might get in the way. And then if you should happen to have hand weights, this is a set of 1-pounders, nothing heavier than 2 pounds for this class. You may or may not have them, but don't worry. And then last but not least, our friend, the chair. So this is a standard metal folding chair, absolutely no wheels, and preferably no arms, because sometimes we move side to side. You can also use the chair to help with your balance. Or if you have an available wall, you could use that, or a piece of furniture that doesn't move once you start pushing your weight on it. So you are in charge, not me. If whatever's being offered doesn't work for your body, you can modify. You can do something else, like another posture, or you can skip it altogether. So you are in charge, absolutely, not me. All right. So let's take the legs about shoulder width apart. We'll just start moving the hips a bit here. A nice gentle warming of the body, the torso. So as you move the hips in a circular fashion here, think about inhaling forward, squeezing the navel to spine as you round in the back. Noticing any tightness, breathing into any areas that might feel stuck or tight. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then coming back to center. Now circle the hips in the opposite direction. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Noticing any differences between the 2 sides. Now we're on side 2 here, or not. And remembering to take deep, full breaths, LSD breaths, long, slow, and deep, for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then coming back to center. Let's move up to shoulders, opening the chest, rolling the shoulders, forward, up, back, and down. Drawing invisible circles in the air with your shoulders for 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's circle in the other direction. Noticing if there's any differences in the 2 directions as you roll forward and back. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Let's shake out the arms. Very nice. Let's take the feet directly under the hips. So this is hip distance, where that femur bone plugs into the hip girdle. That's shoulder, that's hip distance. This isn't hip distance. That's way too wide. So adjusting for that. Let's start lifting right heel, place it down, and left heel, place it down. If you need a finger or 2 on the back of the chair or your wall or your piece of furniture, that's just fine. And as you lift each heel, think about spreading the toes wide, pumping some fresh blood into those little tiny toe areas. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe you want to keep it this pace, that's fine. Maybe you want to double time the pace. Bicycle pedaling the heels, climbing the hill on your bike here, your invisible bike. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe you want to stay right here, but maybe you want to segue into a little baby march here. So opposite leg and opposite arm moving forward. Think about the crown of the head floating up to the sky. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep marching if you're marching. Now we'll do out, out, in with the legs. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. And then coming back to stillness, taking the heels back down to the earth, and let's just shake out the arms here. Now let's take the feet nice and wide, and we're going to start swinging the arms like empty coat sleeves. So here is a shifting of the weight. Maybe as you shift in one direction, you lift the opposite heel, giving you a little bit more of a balance challenge, but perhaps not. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's keep twisting and turning. The heel of the hand or the soft fist right under the collarbone, the clavicle. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep twisting, turning. Now you're going to tap yourself on the shoulder. That lung point in the back. We just tapped on the front part of the lung point. That's in reflexology. You're still twisting and turning, giving a nice squeeze to the spine. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And now we're going to keep twisting. Now we're going to tap right at the front of the torso. The back hand can tap up a little bit higher by the kidneys. You're still twisting and turning, looking over the shoulders. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And keep now turning and twisting, but you're not touching the body at all. You're keeping that same motion going. And just imagine you're just standing in a pool of water. And you lead with the hip first, and then the head follows. Leading with the hip, then the head follows. So giving a little bit more of the horizontal meridian here. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then slowly, slowly coming back to stillness in the center. Let's do the feet directly again under the hips. And just identify the center of the foot, the arch. That's your fulcrum. You're going to think about just shifting the weight forward into the front part of the foot, or the 2 feet. And you're going to rock back, rocking back onto the heels. So you go forward and back. The feet are staying flat for now. You're just getting that feeling of almost like swaying in the wind here, forward and back. Nice and gentle. Once that feels steady and familiar, you could start lifting the toes as you rock back, and maybe lifting the heels as you rock forward. So let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going with the feet. Now you might want to in your arms, flowing motion here, lifting and pressing back, rocking forward, rocking back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, very nice, and then the arms come down, keep going with the feet for 4, 3, 2, 1, nice, and then coming back to stillness, let's shake out the feet and the legs. And then the hand can rest on the back of the chair, if you're using a chair or your wall or your piece of furniture. We're gonna lift right heel and start circling the ankle. So think about standing tall on the supporting left leg as that right ankle initiates the movement. So everything else about the leg is passive. It's just the ankle joint moving for 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going the other direction. Does it feel the same? It might feel some little pops or glitches. And just noticing, no self-judgment for 4, 3, 2, 1, nice. And then shaking out both legs, both feet. Now let's shift the weight to the right leg, lifting the left heel. And now we circle with the left ankle joint, initiates the movement. Remember to stand nice and tall on that supporting right leg. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1, nice. And then circling the other way. Very gently. 4, 3, 2, 1, nice. And then shake everything out. Again, let's pick the feet directly under the hips. Maybe little bounces with the heels here. 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, lifting those heels. And this can be a sort of free form movement for the body. Instead of you telling the body what to do, just see what the body wants to do. See if the body wants to lead. And you're still pumping up and down with those heels, working on bone density as well. For 8, 7, 6, just a free form meditation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly, slowly bringing the heels down to stillness, shake out the legs and the feet. I felt that in my calves. We tend to forget about our calf muscles. So let's grab our chairs. We're going to approach the chair mindfully. And if you want to have props nearby, you can have props nearby, and I will offer modifications if you don't have the props. So finding that your chair seat, placing the bum down on the chair seat, closer probably to the front of the chair seat than the back. Maybe pulling the flesh away from the sits bones. And then from here, we're going to take the feet and legs on parallel now. Let's just, right from here, externally rotate those feet out. So we're going to lift up on the toes and then in. So you're moving out, lifting the heels. Heels come down, rotate inward, lift, exhale out, lifting and pressing, lifting and pressing. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Very nice. Back to neutral. Let's bounce the legs a bit. Let's take a soft fist in each hand. And you're going to place it on the soft part of the thighs. And here the legs are still in parallel. You're going to try to push the legs apart with those soft fists. At the same time as you're pushing, those thighs are squeezing to not move. So you're getting an isometric press with the legs and the hands. So we're going to count to 8, but you're going to be pressing and squeezing while we count to 8 and breathe. So here we go. Inhale and exhale for 8, 7, squeezing and pressing, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release it. Oh, shake out the hands, shake out the feet and legs. Let's do the opposite now. The flat of the palm is on the outside of each thigh. The palms are going to try to push those legs together. The legs are going to resist by pushing the hands away. An isometric press, opposite way from what we just did, sitting tall. We're going to do to the count of 8 big full breaths. Inhale. And then squeezing for 8, 7, resisting with the legs, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release it, and then bounce the legs, very nice. And then from here, let's take the legs nice and wide. And the hands can be placed on the thighs, palms down, and we're going to sweep the torso forward, side to side. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then coming back to center. Let's lead with the chin now. Think about as much flexibility in the spine, whip-like motion in the spine. You make this move. So you're going to exhale, leading with the chin. And then you're going to tuck the chin, inhale, as you roll up to neutral. Exhale, going forward with the chin. Inhale as you rise up into neutral. Let's do 4, 3, 2, last one. Nice. And then coming up to neutral. If you take a breath or two here, let's do the reverse now. Tuck the chin. Inhale, tucking the chin. Exhale, sweeping forward with the top of the head. Exhale as you rise up. Inhale, tuck the chin. Exhale, going forward. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. And then coming back to center. Let's heel toe the feet together or just step the legs, feet together. Now here, let's turn to the right in your chair seat. And then this right arm is going to be straight. Your left hand can grab the outside of the right thigh, and you're going to twist to the right as you move, twisting, 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 a seated twist. Eventually, you'll come to a sticking point, and the back hand can press against the back of the chair, and this left hand can press into the right thigh. So you have leverage with your hands here in your seated twist. Let's pause right here in this pose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying in your seated twist, just slightly release. Inhale, slightly release. Exhale, squeeze and turn. Inhale, slightly release. Exhale, squeeze and turn. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then unwinding it slowly. Coming back to center, nice and slow. Go ahead and move these things. We'll now pointing off to the left. And now the left hand is going to be the scanner. As you scan the horizon, the right hand will grab the outside of the left thigh. And you're twisting to the left now until you come to a sticking point, and there you will stop. The back arm can grab the back of the chair seat, and your right hand can press into the left, outside of the left thigh. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying in this twist. Just slightly release. Inhale, slightly release. Exhale, squeeze and turn. Inhale, slightly release. Exhale, squeeze and turn. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then slowly coming out of the twist. No rushing. Coming back. Center. Let's go ahead and pull flesh away from sits bones. Bounce the legs and feet. Right hand on right knee. Let's just circle this femur bone into the pelvic girdle here. Breathing out any air bubbles, anything that might have gotten trapped in there. A few more in this direction. And then we're going to circle with the other direction. Noticing if that feels the same, maybe it doesn't. Just taking inventory. And then we're going to place that leg and foot down. Very nice. Bounce it around. Left hand on left knee. Same idea. But here again, doing your best to sit tall in the chair. Noticing if this hip feels the same as the other hip, may or may not. And now let's circle in the other direction. Breathing. Squeezing those abs every time you circle that leg for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then place that foot down, bounce the feet and legs. Let's take the feet and legs just slightly wider. Soft fists with the hands. You're going to tuck those fists into the hip crease. You're going to have a nice flat back, crown of head, lines up with tailbone. And now we're stimulating our colon. So here we're going to go forward with a flat back, keeping those fists tucked right in there, the hip crease. And then when you get to your optimum stretch forward, you're going to do little tiny pumps with the belly for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And with the flat back again, floating upright, no rushing. Very nice. Shake it out. Let's try this. Let's turn again to the right. And again, you're more towards the front of the chair seat than the back. And the trick on this one is to have this front butt cheek half on and half off of the chair seat. We're going to do a seated warrior 2. So think about stretching the right arm forward, the left arm is back. You've got your front leg bent, or maybe it's stretched back even farther or not. See if you can encase the body in 2 panes of glass, so everything is in the same plane. We're going to go forward, back to center, and back to center. So it's a sliding movement. You don't even have to pause in the middle, just little tiny slides for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then arms can float down. Maybe you want to assist that leg forward. Then come back to center. Turning to the left. The front butt cheek is half on and half off of the chair seat. This side might feel totally different than the other side. Left arm goes forward, right arm comes back. You're staring down the middle finger of your left hand here, imagining that that body is pressed between 2 panes of glass. And we're going to slide it forward and back, forward and back. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then coming back to center, arms can float down. If you want to assist that leg forward, assist the leg forward. And then come and turn into the chair. Very nice. And then from here, we're just going to take the feet, legs in parallel. You're going to come to standing very mindfully. Let's roll the shoulders as you come on up. And now from here, you can either use a strap or not. If you've got the strap, you're going to loop it around the ball of the right foot. If you don't have a strap, you're going to grab with your right hand the back of the right thigh and do the kicking that way. Avoid the knee joint, all right? So if you have a strap, you can loop the strap around the ball of the right foot, evening out the ends of the strap. If you want to use your chair for support, that's an option. We're gonna go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, place the foot down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, place the foot down. We'll do 4. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Nice, and then floating that foot down. Very nice. We'll stay on the side, so you're still gonna be having the weight in your left leg. Now the right leg stays straight, the right foot stays flexed, and we're gonna just start swinging the leg. The leg remains straight. You don't need to go higher than waist height. So here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice, and slowly come down, de-escalate, don't just stop, and shake out both legs. And then we'll move to the other side. So it's a strap, or with your hands. So if you're not having a strap, you're gonna float the left leg up. Left hand grabs back of left thigh of where the knee joint, right? So here we go, looping the strap around the ball of the left foot. If you're using the strap, maybe one hand on your chair, your wall, or your piece of furniture. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, put the foot down. Inhale, exhale, exhale, inhale, put the foot down. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. And then removing that strap. If you were using the strap, the weight will go on the right leg. The left foot is flexed, the left leg is straight. Now we're going to do the little swinging of the leg. It only needs to go as high as the waist. You can't go any further. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly de-escalate, slowly, slowly. Very nice, and then shaking it out. Very good. Okay, let's move. Let's move the chair away here. And if you want to use the chair to get down on the earth, that's an option, don't forget. So, what we'll do here is, you're using blocks, have them at the narrow end of your mat so that they're there. If you need instruction on how to get onto the earth using the chair, very quickly, hands on the side of the chair seat, body is in a right angle. Most of the weight will go in the arms. Then one knee, float the knee down to the earth. Second knee joins it. You've arrived on the earth. To get back up, grab sides of the seat, maybe forearms want to rest on the seat. You can assist one leg forward, and that back foot is tucked. The 5 toes are tucked. You're gonna put most of the weight in your arms. You're gonna lift the bum up. Inhale, exhale. One foot under the seat, second foot under the seat. Use the chair back to rise up, holding the head brush. And you've arrived back to standing. So let's go ahead and face that narrow end of the mat. Inhale up, exhale forward. Inhale up, exhale forward. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. Last one, we're going to stay down. Finger can come to mat. If they don't reach the mat, you have blocks, you can bring the floor closer to you. So keeping the feet flat, we're going to micro-bend the knees left and right. You can let the head hang here, like a 15-pound bowling ball, stretching out the spine. And those little micro-bends with the knees left and right for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Legs are still. Hands come to mat or low blocks. Then step back into down dog. Body is in a triangle shape. You can bicycle pedal the heels here. You can wag your dog tail. You're engaging those abs for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then slowly straightening the legs, floating the knees down to the mat. Big toes together, knees wide apart. Crescent child pose. Here's where I use the roll towel behind the backs of the knees. And you're going to press the hips back towards the heels. Really big stretch for the thighs, the quad muscles, the tops of the feet. For 4, 3, maybe little wiggles here. 2, 1. The forehead should rest on the mat. If it doesn't get there, don't forget, stacked palms, you can rest the forehead there. Stacked fists, rest the forehead there. Or taking a low block and resting the forehead there. So, melting the body into the mat here. Noticing where energy has moved in the body. Big full breaths now into the back body. Inhale, lower back, middle back, upper back. Noticing the silence at the top. Exhaling, upper, middle, lower back. Squeezing out all the air at the bottom. Inhale, lower, middle, upper back. Noticing the pause at the top. Exhaling, upper, middle, lower back. Squeezing out all the air at the bottom. 2 more, just like this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then very slowly coming out of this child's pose, rising up to neutral table. Here I'm taking my squishy mat and I'm doing a little extra padding for the knees. If you have blocks, grab them. On a tall setting, I will mirror you for this. Right foot comes forward. So that foot can be framed either with hands on the mat on either side of the foot, or tall blocks on either side of the foot. Right knee stacks over right heel. Left leg stretches out as long as you can get it. And you might want to extra pad that back left knee. If you'd like to lift the chest a bit more and you're using blocks, you can walk them underneath the armpits to lift the chest. And that might allow you a little bit deeper press into the right hip. For 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to straighten the leg, drop the chest down the inside of the thigh. Going forward and back, pressing and straightening. Pressing and straightening. So finding your own rhythm, your own pace here, try not to rush through it. Just stretching forward and back. Saying good morning to your hamstrings on the right leg. And the next time your leg goes straight, leave it straight. Maybe the hands want to return to the mat now if they're not there. And as you drop the torso down the inside of the right thigh, the right heel is grounded, the toes point up to sky. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Staying right here, maybe lifting up slightly with the chest, but staying in this forward fold. You're going to externally rotate the right leg, come back to center, internally rotate the right leg. So you're moving it side to side, pumping synovial fluid down into the right side of the hip. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then the foot goes flat again, toes point forward, press into that low runner's lunge one more time. And maybe you want to stay right here. But maybe the hands want to rest on that thigh, balancing. Maybe pressing a little bit deeper into that right hip, but maybe not. Couple of breaths here, a slow lunge. And then the outside of the left hand presses on the outside of the right thigh. The back of the left hand presses into the right thigh. The right hand comes to the hip. And you're gonna look over the right shoulder to the wall behind you, balance challenge. For 4, 3, 2, 1, unwinding it nice and slow. Let's go ahead and take that right foot and booch it up into that right corner, the short end of the mat. If you have blocks, lower them down. You're bringing the floor closer to you. So I've got my hands on the flat blocks, and we're gonna press forward into this right hip at a different angle, forward and back. Forward and back. Let's do 4 of these. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. And then coming back to neutral, you're gonna take your right foot back to meet the left. There we go. Let's take the left foot forward, or the leg you didn't use before. And again, foot is flat. The left knee stacks over the left heel. The right leg is stretched back as far as you can get it. You might want to pad the back right knee. If you want to lift the chest a bit higher, walk the blocks back, lifting the chest for 4, 3, 2, 1. So from here, start straightening and bending, front left leg. You drop the torso down the inside of the left thigh. Inhale, going forward. Exhale, squeezing back. Forward and back. Forward and back. Let's just do 2 more like this. Pressing and stretching. Pressing, and the next time that leg is straight, keep it straight. Drop the hands down to the mat. They weren't there already. We're going to pause here, dropping the torso down the inside of that left thigh for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Staying in this more or less forward fold, the leg in front of you. Just lifting up slightly maybe, but still in a more or less forward fold. You're going to externally rotate the left leg back to center, internally rotate it. So you're moving the entire leg bones, pumping synovial fluid into the left side of the hip. Back and forth. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to neutral, the foot goes flat. Let's press forward one more time into that low runner's lunge. Maybe you want to stay right here. Maybe the hands want to come to that front thigh. Maybe the back of the right hand presses on the outside of the left thigh. Right hand, back of hand presses into outside of left thigh. Left hand comes to left hip. And we're going to look over the shoulder to the wall behind for 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwind the hands slowly, slowly. Now you're going to take your foot into the upper left-hand corner of the short end of the mat. You're using blocks. Lower the blocks. That'll bring the floor closer to you. Hands go on the flat blocks as you press forward. And then stretch it back. Forward and stretch it back. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then that left foot comes back to meet the right. Let's do big toes together, knees wide apart, press into child pose, just for a pause that refreshes. Pressing the hips back towards the heels. Oh, And then, once you've organized your child's pose here, arms and hands on the earth to the left. The right hip will push away 45 degrees on the diagonal. You got a huge stretch on the right side of the body going. And this could be static press or maybe little micro movements, little wiggles. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Back to center. And we're gonna go to the other side. Hands and arms go on the earth. To the right. The left hip presses away 45 degrees on the diagonal. Big stretch on the left side of the body. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then back to center. And then slowly, slowly rising up out of your child's pose. Hands can come to neutral table, hips over knees, shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrists, fingers spread wide. Let's pound the tops of the feet, get some more blood flow going in the feet. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. And then slowly coming out of it. Let's find your way to sitting. And if you have props nearby, have them nearby. If you want to use them. If you're not using hand weights, a soft fist is fine. So let's just start here with the knees bent. And we're going to move forward and then squeeze it back. Move it forward, squeeze it back. Forward. Again, we're working on flexibility of the spine here. So really think about getting as much movement as you can without forcing or jamming. Last time you go forward. And now we're going to roll it back, coming onto the mat, drawing the knees into the chest. This should feel delicious. And then you're going to rock side to side, massaging the entire back body, the back of the skull. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. And then coming back to center, let's float the feet back down to the mat. Knees will stay bent. Let's extend the left leg up to the sky. All right, got the right leg staying right where it is, and the thigh will move forward. You're not going to sway it off to the side, all right? So that you can point the left toe, and let's just start circling that leg. You can keep your circle small or medium or large. You can decide what feels doable. And you're squeezing the abs as you're rotating your leg for 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to circle the other direction. Using that right leg for stability on the earth, the arms can be in T position. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Rebend the left knee, left foot returns to earth. Let's bounce the feet and the legs a bit here. Maybe do a little flapping side to side, might feel good. And then the thighs return to parallel. You're extending the right leg long, you're pointing the toe. Start making circles with that right straight leg. Drawing your circles on the ceiling with your big toe. Nice and gentle. And if you want to make the circles medium or large, that's an option as well. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Circle in the opposite way. Only 2 sides we have to worry about. Big full breaths for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then return. Bend the right knee, foot is flexed. And now you're going to take both of those knees into the chest one more time. Just one more time, rocking back and forth. Keep the knees into the chest. Either with your hands, you can grab the outside or the inside of each foot. The knees are going to be pointing outward about 30 degrees. We're going to exhale. and inhale. Exhale, you can do half and half. Inhale. So maybe you want to do one side for 4 and the other side for 4. I'll do 8 altogether for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then back to center. Now we're going to just grab the ankles or the shins and just let the weight of the arms open up the hip crease. And here again, you could be doing little wiggles, little rocks, or maybe it's a static press. We're just letting the weight of the arms open up the hip crease, letting gravity do the work. Let's pause here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then drawing the knees together, the feet come flat to the earth. If you have weights and want to use them, grab your weights. So you're going to bend the knees, you're going to get the heels as close to the bum as you can get them. Maybe touching the heels with the fingertips. And I'm going to put the weights, one weight in each hip crease. Weights are optional, nothing heavier than 2 pounds. So to start, we'll do pelvic tilts staying on the earth. So you're going to tilt the pelvis forward like you're spilling water out of the pelvic bowl. And then exhale, squeeze the hips, the buttocks, the pelvic floor, the abdominals as you bring it in on the exhale. So you're going to inhale, tilting forward. Exhale, squeezing back. Inhale, tilting forward. Exhale, tilting back. So getting a nice movement, flexibility in the pelvis. We'll do 4, 3, 2, 1. Next time, you're going to tilt forward, inhale forward, press into the feet. Exhale, lift the hips. Do not look side to side. You tuck the chin into the center of the chest. Lift the hips, coming into bridge pose. And then you're going to roll the spine down very slowly, vertebra by vertebra. Placing it down like a string of pearls. The pelvis then tilts forward, inhale forward, exhale, squeeze and lift. Bridge pose. Rolling it down, triple slow time. Try not to let the thighs splay out. Inhale, tuck the pelvis forward, exhale, squeeze and lift. Rolling it down, one more time. Pelvis hits the earth. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, exhale, squeeze and lift. This time we're going to stay lifted. We're going to squeeze right butt cheek with left butt cheek. Right and left. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very nice. Keep lifted now. Tap the knees together for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then rolling them down vertebra by vertebra. Lose the weights if you were using the weights. Let's take the feet mat width apart. The knees are still bent. Very, very gently. You're going to start windshield wipering those knees side to side. Be very careful here. We just did baby back bends with that bridge pose. So we're going to be very gentle, reapproaching that lower back, which gets very tight and cranky. So we're loosening up the low back for 4, 3, 2. The knees drop to the left, leave them there. Maybe the head and the neck want to look to the right. The knees could drop onto a cushion or a block. They don't have to go to the floor. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center. Windshield waggling, side to side, nice and gentle. And the next time the knees drop to the right, leave them there. And then head and neck look to the left. If it bothers your neck to look to the side, on either right or the left, just skip it. We're in a nice supine twist here for 4, 3, 2, 1, nice. And then back to center, knees windshield vibrating, gazing at the ceiling for 4, 3, 2, 1, very nice. And then coming back, knees bent. You have a block, grab a block. If you're not using a block, the hands underneath the bum, with the palms facing down will work just to support your low back, okay? And if you're using a block, press the feet into the mat, lift the hips up, slide the block underneath the sacrum, the lower part of the back here, not up here by the kidneys, down here by the bum. And you have a nice stable support on your flat low block. Mindfully take one leg up to the sky, mindfully take second leg up to the sky. Let's flex and point the feet. Spread the toes wide, let's circle the ankles here. Get some blood flow moving, we're getting fresh blood pumping in there because of the inversion. We're also helping the lymph to move. So you've got your arms here, so it's opposite leg, opposite arm. Moving. I don't know if I'm doing this right either. That's opposite leg, opposite arm. Marching on the ceiling. There we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Legs come back up. We just went long. Now we're going to flex the feet as you open the legs wide. Big scissors. Point the toes as you cross the legs like scissors. Opening and closing. Opposite leg in front, opposite leg in back. Front and back. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Then the legs come up parallel. We're going to float the 2 legs down to hover. You're not going to let them land. Inhale, drop and hover. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inhale, drop and hover. Exhale, squeeze and lift. We'll do 8 for as many as you can manage. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then slowly you're going to take one leg and foot mindfully back to earth. Second leg, slowly mindfully back to earth. Press the feet into the block, lift the hips. And then slide the block away. Roll the spine down on the mat like a string of pearls and draw the knees into the chest. Giving yourself one more hug. And then making any final movements you'd like to make to feel complete. Arriving in Shavasana, traditional Shavasana on the back, arms and legs 30 to 45 degrees. Maybe a rolled something under the knees to prevent any tension in the low back. If flat on the back doesn't work, return to feet mat apart, knees knocked together like a tent, the middle, restorative rest. If flat on the back is impossible, you can stack the hips and the legs, one on top of the other. Head can rest on your upper arm or maybe on a block or a cushion in a block. Or you could choose legs up the wall if you have an available wall. Or you could sit in a chair, feet flat. You can rest the palms on the thighs, crown of head floating up to sky, long spine. So whichever version of Shavasana you've chosen, once you organize the arms and the legs, Go ahead and allow the eyes to drop closed. Finding your way back to the natural breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Belly rising on the inhale, belly collapsing on the exhale. And then noticing that warmth, that siren call of the hot tub. And you're going to place your feet in that delicious warmth, that relaxation. And from the feet, it moves into the ankles and then the low legs, enveloping the shins and the calves. And then it moves into the knees, permeating the complex structure of the knees. And then it moves into the thighs, legs and feet becoming very heavy. And from there, it moves into the hips and the pelvis. The low back releases, the buttocks let go. And from there, from the pelvis, it moves into the waist and torso, enveloping the ribs, heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, pancreas, spleen, all the vital organs deeply relaxed. And from there, it goes into the chest and shoulders, rolling down both arms all the way to the fingertips, all the way to the fingertips. And then it moves into the throat and the neck. And then it envelops the head, all the way to the crown of the head. The back of the neck releases, the face and the jaw let go. The tongue lies at the bottom of the mouth, teeth slightly apart. Eyes sink deep into the skull, as though a white circle of healing light permeates every cell in the body, noticing back body and front body, right side and left side, noticing the whole body together, the whole body together, the whole body together. And here's something from Mary Oliver, a poem entitled The Messenger. My work is loving the world. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Here the quickening yeast, there the blue plums. Here the clam deep in the speckled sand. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young and still not half perfect? Let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished. The phoebe, the delphinium, the sheep in the pasture, and the pasture, which is mostly rejoicing, since all ingredients are here, which is gratitude, to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, to the sleepy, dug-up clam, telling them all over and over how it is that we live forever. If you'd like to remain in Shavasana for as long as feels right, please feel free to stay right there. But if you're ready to meet the day, begin to bring some gentle movement to fingers and toes and arms and legs. And as you are ready, drawing your knees into the chest, giving yourself a well-deserved hug. And then rolling onto your favorite side and pausing there for just a few breaths in embryo posture. And on the next inhale, keeping the eyes closed, press yourself up into a comfortable seated posture, rooting the sits bones down into the earth, drawing the crown of the head up into the sky, scanning the body for the effects of the practice, and thanking the body for all it does all day, every day, and bringing to mind one thing for which you are grateful. And on the next inhale, floating the palms up overhead, hands meet in prayer, dropping down the midline, stopping at the heart, samastiti, this beating heart. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May you know peace. I salute the bright light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Jai Bhagwan.